Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, we give peace and salutations unto the elect. And I wanted to do sort of a land back to this video done by the elder apostle Tahar. As you can see here, his YouTube handle, GMS Declaring the End. All right, the title of the video that I will be responding to is, "And she shall put the raiment of her captivity off of her." All right, and everything is explained in this video, but I was, doing some breaking some bread with brothers this morning. A few articles got sent, and my, my senses got to turning. All right, and lo and behold, this video pops up by the elder apostle Tahar, and it's like, man, may as well do a video with the information that was being sent. All right. Now, a lot of these customs that rub you Israelites the wrong way. All right. First of all, it rubs you the wrong way because it involves women. All right. And there's something about when it comes to women that our people, they tense up and they get all uncomfortable. All right, and it has everything to do with being raised here in this Western culture, which is heavily rooted in Queen of Heaven worship. All right, so a lot of these ancient terminologies and the ancient customs that we bring out, even when we show you that it's in the law, it still rubs you all the wrong way because the God of this world has blinded the mind. So if you're going to watch this lesson and continue to watch the lessons of the brothers, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, you can't be emotional, man. And you can't approach the understanding of the Bible with the Western hemisphere, Western culture mindset. Okay. When we bring out things, they are based on how things were done in ancient times, which were far different. Okay. And you better be glad you're not living in those times, because the freedoms you're afforded here in Babylon the Great, especially women, okay, you'd be absolutely decimated openly. All right, so you Israelites who constantly give us hell when we bring out these ancient customs, and you ones who are ashamed of the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, you better repent, okay? Because we're not saying that we're going to do these things now, or we're not saying even in the kingdom of heaven some of these laws won't apply. All right. But there are particular laws that will apply, as in taking down the heathen nations and getting their women. That's going to happen. And you have Israelite women doing everything in their power, going into the law, trying to figure out a way to take that away from the Israelite men. All right. Well, it's not going to happen, baby. So the best thing for you all to do is just sit back, okay, and just be happy with the fact that you're going to be the top woman on the planet Earth in the kingdom of heaven. All right. Everything else will take care of itself. All right. Because if you don't stop, you're going to be burnt up. All right. Trying to ultimately usurp authority over the man and tell the Most High what he can and can't do, and use this privilege the serpent has given you to check us. You better stop. All right. Now, I'm going to start here in the book of Jeremiah, the 6th chapter and the 16th verse. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths." All right. Where is the good way? All right. Because the way of the West is not good. Look at this society. All right. When you read the law, statutes, and commandments, there are a lot of things that if you saw them being practiced, okay, you'd be like, oh, goodness. Especially dealing with women. All right. Women having to be separated from, their houses and their husbands when they're on their cycle. You'd all think that was unfair. Okay. A woman breaking up or jumping in a fight between her husband and another man and hitting the dude in the nuts and getting her hand chopped off. Okay. The Levirate marriage, where, if your brother passes away and he has a good landmass and there was no seed raised up to him with the woman he was with, his wife, all right, then you would go into that woman, okay, put seed in her and raise up child for the purpose of that land and inheritance rights. You see, but when we think of sex here in Babylon the Great, all we think of is the pleasure, herpes, STDs, hitting it from the back, and all of these various different things we learn here, which the scriptures ain't dealing with that, man. Okay, sex at the forefront of sex was unions, the joining of houses, and business. Okay, that's why the biblical laws and when in the ancient world, virgins were coveted after. Okay, so everything you've learned in the West, you're gonna have to throw it away, because ultimately, let's get this too in the book of 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, because I want to get into a few customs that go back to the ancient world, even bride kidnapping, and the term swept her off her feet. We've all heard that term, right? Well, don't you know that goes back to an ancient custom that ties to the book of Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter? It's time for us to grow the hell up and get more scholarly in our thinking, because you got men that are still held up on these simple terms. Even the fact that the Heavenly Father makes a woman at the age of 12, 13, 14 when she has her cycle. What do? You bring up, well, women had their period here in America at 8 years old. When the earth was in its rightful form and things weren't as out of course as they are now, it didn't happen like that. Okay? The earth is out of course. Everything you see before you and everything you've learned and witnessed as culture here in Babylon the Great is off, man. The foods, the soil, everything's thrown off. So it throws off the bodies of the children, man. The boys are all effeminate. The men, the women are all bold and manly. Fathers have no reckoning over who their daughters marry. This whole culture that we've witnessed growing up in America is out of order and out of course. So you all need to grow the hell up, because the problem is with you and your flesh. Okay? You think women in the ancient world waited around till they were 18, 19, and 20 to have a husband? No, by the time a woman was 16 or 17, she already had an established family in the ancient world. Your ass is still sitting here thinking about high school and careers. Well, those weren't the standards in the ancient world, man. This is 2 Corinthians 4:3. Grow the hell up, man. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. And you got a problem. At the end of the day, you got a problem with the Most High. Because a cycle in a woman and puberty in a man represents what? They are both able to what? A woman bear children, okay? And a man, he's able to produce seed. Okay? Now you're looking at how 12, 13, and 14 years old, year olds interact in this society, and you couldn't see it. Well, children weren't raised with the mindset that they're raised here in Babylon the Great. Okay? And secondly, every woman who was 12, 13, 14 may not have been married off at that age, but they were damn sure betrothed. All right? Until the man, she matured into the man's liking. There was cases of that. But the process of her being a wife and establishing a family and making a covenant with another family to join households, because marriage had a lot to do with joining households, land inheritance, and all of that. All right, it started young. See, but the fact that you all are still crying over these facts, because when you go into biblical facts, go into biblical history and show us anything else but that children, the women and men started marriage and all of that at 12, 13, 14. Show us something different. Now, for war, the man had to be 20, I believe, and upward, right? But we're speaking of something different, okay? And you all get all, cringy and messed up as if Esau got it right with his science. No, the Most High got it right. There's a reason at 12, 13, 14, women have a cycle and are able to produce eggs so that the seed can go into it. 2 Corinthians 4:3. You people need to grow the hell up, man. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. See? Lost, man. Lost in the sauce. Trusting in the West as if it's the best. Trusting in the man and what he's saying. And he's wrong. And look at this culture. Look at the individuals who were raised in Western culture, in their mindset towards family. You think a woman sitting around twerking, bouncing her ass, and a man learning to be a thug somehow is better than what the Bible has young men and women doing at that age? Because women and men were trained up, all right, to be wives and husbands and forwarders of the inheritance of their fathers, the lands. Okay? Women didn't go out to war in our culture. You all are you cool with that, huh? Esau telling your women that they need to sign up and go fight in a goddamn war over in the Middle East. That's cool. But somehow whenever we bring out these ancient customs, you cry. So if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not. See, the God of this world got y'all messed up, man. Okay? And the man is the head. Okay? Lest the light of the glorious gospel of Mashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. And you all are ashamed of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Okay? Let's get that real quick. You ashamed to profess the fullness of the gospel, okay? And you use the vibration of the world to come against us. But it's all, the chickens are coming home to roost on a lot of you all, man. Let's see here. Yep, Mark 8:38. Whosoever therefore is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, look at this world, right? Of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. So anyway, in this video, the Elder Apostle Tahar spoke to an ancient custom of when you take down a heathen nation, or when one nation takes down the other, they take their women, right? Now let's go back to where we were in the book of Jeremiah real quick. There was another scripture I wanted to get. Okay. Jeremiah 6:16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. And this is why you all don't have rest in your soul when you hear the true intent of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. You can't see it. Okay? Because you really trust and love everything you've learned, and you haven't fully been washed. Okay? There's a lot of biblical laws that you read that it challenges you mentally. But you all just want to focus on the ones that deal with women, so you can get more followers and make the men of the Lord look bad, look like rapists, look like pedophiles. Jeremiah 18:15. Because my people have forgotten me, they have burned incense unto vanity. And burning incense is ultimately the vibration you're in to your particular God. You burn incense to call on your God, man. Right? And ultimately your energy is into Baal, man. But then you want to have one foot in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and keep a few toes and wiggle them over to Baal, man, so you can be comfortable, right? And the bird just came to my window cursing y'all asses out too. Yeah, I don't know if y'all heard that. It says, and they have caused them to stumble in their ways from the ancient paths to walk in paths in a way, all right, not cast up. All right. Let's type in this word paths, man. Well, let's look up the word ancient. All right. Walam. All right. Lasting, continuous, enduring eternity, ancient time, long time, of the past. Ain't that what the term Hebrew mean? From the region beyond, from the past. Anyway, so we always bring out this custom Okay, and people still go to other scriptures. Well, it says here, don't marry with the Canaanite. Yeah, we weren't supposed to marry with the Canaanites because we were going into the Holy Land to set up and establish the kingdom of heaven. All right, we were going into the promised land, and they had some very, very wicked deeds and ways that would be detrimental to our soul if we started making unions with them. All right. Now, when we established the kingdom as Solomon established the throne of David, okay, we get the heathen women according to what we want. Now, there's a difference between your wife, and this is also history you all need to look up. You have a wife who you make a union in marriage with, joining of two houses, and then you have a concubine. Now, you can have a concubine by, a poor Hebrew family needing money, and they sell off their daughter into a well-to-do man, all right, for the purpose of getting money and paying off, particular debts and things like that. That was one way. But then you also had, when you took down a heathen nation, okay, once you took the men down, what would you do? You would ultimately get the women of your choice and put them under your vibration, okay? As a matter of fact, let's get the book of Numbers 31 and 17. Okay. It says, I'll just get to the point. Now, therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that have known man by lying with him. Right. Kill all of the men. Right. So that their seed came forward no more. And kill the women who ultimately are played out, well, who had husbands. All right, land, whatever, right? But all the women children that have not known men by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Now, are you ashamed of that? Keep alive for yourself for what? So you can grow up and learn how to color, grow up and learn how to twerk, grow up and learn how to play in WNBA basketball? No, man. So you can take them, and they help forward your kingdom. They have to put off the worshiping of their gods. Okay. They put off the vibration of their fathers and mothers, and they come up under your rule, learning your way, calling on your God, and you're their Lord. And you give them a month to mourn according to the law. Okay. And as we're going to show you, this is nothing new. This happened in various cultures. Now you have this dude, Sonetter, going into the scriptures trying to figure out a way to say the Bible is abusive to women. But what we're going to show you in African cultures, these same things happen. Just as the dude, which that dude right there is playing with the scriptures. He ain't serious. He went into the law mocking the Levirate marriage, where a brother goes into his, if a brother dies, okay, and he didn't have a child, ultimately the other brother, you go into that brother's wife, which in this culture, you're looking at it on face value, when you think of just sex, it's like, damn, that's off. But for the purpose of raising up a seed and ultimately, forwarding his inheritance, his land mass for that seed, there's far, more than sex involved, but sex is needed for seed to be raised up unto that lineage in that man's stead. Okay, so you would go and Sonetter mocked it, but I did a lesson showing you that happens still unto this day in African cultures, in various African cultures. Now, what does that nigga say? Make Africa great again. Well, we're going to show you that this bride kidnapping, which is a law that goes back to Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter, and what we're getting ready to read and what Apostle Tahar is going into in Deuteronomy 21, that happened in African cultures. So what the hell do these dudes really study? They're supposed to be scholars, and you guys supposed to be bishops and elders and leaders of Israel. But these minuscule points you still can't get over in 2021, man. Now, this is the law on domestic relations. When you take down a heathen nation, this is how you deal with their women, because we are not just reckless. Okay, there's an order to particular things, man. What do you do in this situation? What do you do in that situation? Okay, what do you do if she has a husband? What do you do if this? What do you? And the Bible covers those things, man. Okay, Deuteronomy 21:10. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy God have delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, okay, that's where you get a concubine. Okay, it's a wife through bondage. It's a lesser wife, but nonetheless, she's still a wife. She's in one of your houses helping to forward your God, all right, in the earth. She's calling on your God. She's helping to forward your enterprise. She's your property now. Did not David? Let's look up the word concubines. And see, when it comes to the true intent of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua and the true manhood, you all ain't with it, but it's going to happen anyway. When David took down the nations, what did he do? And David, 2 Samuel 5:13, and David took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem after he was come unto from Hebron. What happened in Hebron? That's where he was first anointed king. Okay, and there were yet sons and daughters born to David. All right. Concubines. Look up the word concubine real quick, and I have a lesson on it. The difference between an actual, a wife of your nation and a concubine. There's an order to it. The concubine don't get the treatment, all right, as the Israelite wife, right? And you can even look at that in movies. When the Edomites had us in captivity, they would have their wives, and then they would have our women as their concubines, and the wives would put hell on the heathen women. I mean, the Israelite women. Okay? The word concubine means what? Pa-ya-la-gash. Concubine, paramour, concubine, paramour. Let's look up the word paramour. Okay? So we can all be clear. Okay? Because we need to take a more scholarly approach to our thinking, man. A lover, especially an illicit partner of a married person, okay, significant other, mistress, girlfriend, kept woman, other woman, right? And so forth, man. Sugar daddy, bit on the side. All right, and the women got their concubines in this society, man. All right, but hey, it ain't going to be so in the kingdom of heaven. You're going to be with one man. How about that? And that, I know that boils your blood, but do you think we care? We just going to tell you the truth, man. So when David took down the heathen nations, he applied this law. Okay? So when thou goest to war, Deuteronomy 21:10, against thine enemies, and the Lord thy God have delivered them into thine hands, and thou have taken them captive. Okay? And what did the scripture say? We're going to take them captives who had us captive. And thou seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and had a desire unto her. Okay, let's look up the word desire. Like Apostle Tahar said, you look at her shoulders, you look at her skin tone, you look at her lips, look at her legs, her feet, you look at the back of them heels, see if they on point. Okay, desire, hashak, to love, to be attached to long for. True manhood. All right? What's wrong with a man wanting a woman? It's just that in this society, everything's all messed up. All right? Goodness gracious. Y'all think the men of the Lord was somewhere floating on clouds, man. Thou thus saith the Lord. Get out of here. If you all got that expectation of the true intent of the Bible, you got another thing come. Go back to the Christian church, man. So when you see among the captives a beautiful woman and hast a desire unto her, okay, that thou wouldest to have her to thy wife, what do? Then thou shalt bring her home into thine house, all right, which kings have substance. So they can have another house, all right, a back house or whatever, right? And she shall shave her head, right? Because it's a renewing period for her, and pare her nails, And this bird keeps coming to my window. He wants y'all to get it. And this bird has been, over the last couple of years, this mockingbird, he's built a nest in front of my window. All right. And pretty much we have like a friendship. Sometimes I open a window when it was cooler and whistle to him. He whistle back. Sometimes I'll go outside. He flies close to me. Then he'll fly back up into the tree and be singing. Interesting. Hopefully I'll receive that, bird and many more, in the kingdom, for particular regions, But, and she shall put off the raiment of her captivity, okay, from off her. Okay, so she shaves her head. She cuts off them long ass nails because them heathen. Okay, idol worship was associated with hair and nails. Basically, all of the customs that she had before, she gonna throw them out, right? And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and she shall remain in thine house and bewail her father and her mother a full month. Okay, a moon cycle. Okay, which goes back ultimately to the term swept her off her feet. Don't you know in ancient times, even going back to the 1800s, all right, a man would see a woman of his liking and he would sweep her off her feet. He would take her away for what? A whole moon cycle. Okay, and then bring her back, and she was ultimately his wife. That's an ancient custom. All right, these things didn't just happen when we show you in the scriptures. You can go into and we'll show you the term swept her off her feet. We'll show you. Because you think we just making this stuff up. We'll show you, man. So she bewails her mother and her father and her mother a full month. And after that, thou shalt go in unto her. How do you go in unto her? By sitting in front of her playing the piano? You think David just sat in front of her and played the harp? What the hell you think he did to the woman or the women, the men? All right. And be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. Okay, now it goes further, you can't make merchandise of her. If you get tired of her, you just let her go because you humbled her. All right. And what does humbled mean? All right. You put the rod of iron on her. Okay. And what happens? She becomes your wife. Okay. Now we're going to go to an article. Now, there were other articles that were pretty good, but we're going to go to Wikipedia, which you can look this up. Okay, go to the library if you don't think this is factual information. Okay, do your own research. But what is this title? What is the title of this article? Bride kidnapping. Okay, which goes into Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter. Bride kidnapping, and we'll go to that as well. Also known as marriage by abduction or marriage by capture, is a practice in which man abducts the woman he wishes to marry. Right? Now, on top of all of this, brothers, in America, we don't do this. Even in the kingdom of heaven, okay, we're not going to have to go through particular things, all right? Especially with our Israelite women. Okay, marriages are going to be ordained. Fathers and mothers will give their daughter, or fathers, because it starts with the father, they will give their daughter away, all right, to a man of the nation of Israel, okay, and we will be a joyful family forever and ever and ever, because the scriptures say we will have children, they will have children, and children forever. Okay, so what we are doing is going into an ancient custom, linking to this thing that has you all emotionally unstable over what we bring out. Okay, Polite, remember him? He made a big fuss. Oh my God, and all it takes is simple research to see that marriageable age amongst Israelite women was 12, 13, 14. All it takes is simple research. Do the research yourself. And no one has been able to do scholarly research and show us that marriageable age was 18 and 19 in ancient Israel. No one. They've just spewed it out because of what they see here in America by their emotions. Leaders cannot be emotional, man, because you'll make judgments based upon your flesh and emotion and not the truth. Okay? So bride kidnapping, also known as marriage by abduction, and you do this at the club sometimes. You go to the club, you and a woman, she's looking at you in the eye, and you say, you coming with me. That's a form of it. Of course, it was more extreme back then, but that's a form of it. Okay? But see, with that union, it's just based on pleasure. There's no marriage or order attached to it. Okay? Now, there has been marriages that came from, you dealing with a woman the first time you see her, the first time she see you. That's happened. But anyway, bride kidnapping, also known as marriage by abduction or marriage by capture, all right, when you take down the heathen nation, is a practice in which a man abducts the woman he wishes to marry. Bride kidnapping, all right, or bride napping has been practiced around the world throughout prehistory and history. So what's wrong with y'all? I thought y'all were scholars. Among people as diverse as the Hmong in Southwest Asia, all right, in Mexico, in the Romani in Europe, bride kidnapping still occurs in various parts of the world, but it is most common in the Caucasus and Central Asia. All right, now in this world currently, all right, they have sex trafficking and all of that. Look, we ain't talking about that. Okay? We're talking about marriage by abduction. She becomes your wife because either you took down her nation, all right, or you saw her in the field and you had a liking unto her, and what? You swept her off her feet. Okay? In most nations, bride kidnapping is considered a sex crime because of the implied element of rape rather than a valid form of marriage. And see, this is what rubs people the wrong way. How in the hell is a woman, so she gonna be forced to marry that man? In the ancient world, yes. How about that? Yes. Okay? And though the father would be mad because technically you want to give your daughter away. You don't want a man to take your daughter. But if it happened, there are laws in which the father, okay, is given his share, the shekels, all right, and ultimately his daughter would become the wife of that man. Okay, and if men knew that law was in place, they wouldn't rape the woman. They wouldn't take the woman. If they just wanted a piece of box, they would know order comes with that. Responsibility comes with that, so they wouldn't take it. You break, you buy. That's what the law is talking about in Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter. It says some types of it may also be seen as falling along the continuum between forced marriage and arranged marriage. And see, you had a forced marriage and you had arranged marriages. Well, both of them, all right, were ultimately out of the woman's hands. Okay? And that's why it was done at a younger age as well. Okay? Because ultimately, before that, she's the property of her father. Okay? And then ultimately, she becomes the property of her husband. Okay? What does the scripture say? He that getteth the wife getteth a possession. You got a problem with that? Does that make you frown up? Let's get that in the scriptures. Hold up 1 second. Let's see where I can go. Let's get that in the scriptures. Because we ain't all these emotions going around. It's 2021, man. Grow the hell up. And we ain't going around raping no damn body. But we know who is. The main ones who had all of these things to say, look at the predicaments they're in. Okay? Hold up. See how it's worded. There we go. Okay, it's 2 S's on each. Okay, so Sirach 36 and 24. He that getteth the wife beginneth a possession. and help like unto himself in a pillar of rest. That's what a wife is supposed to be, a pillar of rest unto her husband. Let's look up the term possession. Okay. The state of having, owning, controlling something. All right. And see, the control that comes with Egypt, all right, is dwindling away for you women. The control that came with the covenant you made with the serpent is dwindling away. And a lot of you feel it and you're lashing out, you're hurt, you're mad. But hey, you're going to, when it's all said and done, baby, you're going to be all right. Okay. Even after those of you who are destroyed and eventually have to come back, you will be all right. You will be far better off. Okay. Under in the kingdom of heaven, under the kings and priests of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All of you, you're going to be happy. Okay. And the earth will be beautified before your eyes. All right. See, this power that the serpent gave you, all right, has destroyed you and your mind. So we understand why hearing these things, they're like, what? And you frowning up. Okay, pressing, talking shit, reporting the video, down, clicking down. And it's crazy that women understand this more than some men. Ownership, right? So he that getteth the wife beginneth a possession and help like unto himself, all right? Because she ultimately, you bring her up under the law, statutes, and commandments like Adam had Eve, all right? Anyway, it says the term is sometimes confused with elopements, okay, which is different. You can look that up on your own, in which a couple runs away together and seeks the consent of their parents later. In some cases, the woman cooperates with or accedes to the kidnapping, okay, typically in effort to save face for herself or her parents. In many jurisdictions, this used to be encouraged by so-called marry your rapist laws. All right. Now, the term rape, okay, the term rape just means to seize. When you all hear rape, you think of Esau and what he does. We're not going to do that. And that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about beating the shit out of a woman, cutting her, and she's bleeding all over the damn room, okay? Can't take a shower, hanging up somewhere, and then we go visit her. And no, we're not talking about that, okay? Our women, any woman we deal with, she's going to smell good, okay? She's going to be good, all right? Especially if she's in your house, okay? All right. It says, even in countries where the practice is against the law, if judicial enforcement is weak, customary law, traditional practices may prevail. Okay? So you all need to do some studying. It says bride kidnapping is often, but not always, a form of child marriage. And in the law, that is a form of marriage. It's not the standard way you want your daughter to be married off. Yet, if it happened, that could be a way that marriage was consummated. Okay? It may be connected to the practice of bride price. Okay? Bride price, the bride wealth, or bride token is a money, property, or other form of wealth paid by a groom or his family to the woman or the family of the woman he will marry, all right, or to be married to, or just as about marry. Bride price can be compared to a dowry, which is paid to the groom. Now, you know what? You all should be ashamed of yourselves. Basic understanding and understanding of history and ancient customs would have you to understand what we've been saying about Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter. Okay? Let's get it. Now, when you go to this chapter, it gives you 3 ways to handle the form of rape. All right? The form of a man taking a woman. Okay? The word rape, I know it messes with your emotion. All right? It's just to seize. All right? You can rape a taco. All right, you could rape a plate of food. You could, you just devour it. Okay, you can rape an apple. When you look, let's look up the definition of rape. All right, let's go to the etymology real quick. Maybe that'll help you all. Goodness gracious. So you all don't have a scholarly mindset. You need to grow the hell up. Okay? That's all it means, right? See? Seize, prey, abduct, carry off by force. You know, when you got that woman's arm leaving out of the club, okay? Smelling like Egyptian musk, and you lock eyes with a woman, and you know what it is. You seize her, basically. All right? You didn't kick her in the ass. you didn't choke the shit out of her. You know you coming with me, and it's understood. Ain't that happened to y'all before? We all have those lucky moments in our life. All right? Hey, but we're living in a time, man, where hey, hell nah. Leave these women the hell alone, man. Deal with what you got, or just wait for the kingdom, all right, or the Lord. You know, because pretty soon we get ready to be the A side all the way. We're going to dictate the terms. See, right now, the woman is the A side. They still, got to say so within the terms. You know, hey, not coming up. It's going to be our way. That's why ultimately it's just best to wait on the Lord, man. Because these women, they play games. They're all over the place. They're dealing with, trauma from childhood and other different situations with men they dealt with, still in love, got a boo, you meet them, you dealing with anybody? No. 45 minutes earlier, she was getting her back blown out by Ranel. So it's not safe in this society. We're just showing you how things were done in the ancient world, man. Okay? Abduct, seize, that's all it means. See, you all think about Esau and what he did to our women when you hear that term. A legal term, probably, and men were rough back then, man. To carry off by force, abduct, and so forth. You can make a plate and carry it to the table by force and absolutely devour it. The older sense of the English word became more obsolete, meaning to abduct a woman, ravish. So type in the word ravish in the Bible. Let's see if it's in there. Or I'll type in ravished. Ravished with her love. Isaiah 13:6. Okay. Their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their house is spoiled and their wives ravished. Okay. They ravished the women in Zion, Lamentations 5 and 11. When they took us down, they took our women, the Babylonians, right? Zechariah 14:2. All right. For I will gather all nations that came against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, the houses rival, and the women ravished. And that's going to be happening in these times, man. Okay. It's going to be an ugly sight. So you had Captain Tazariak saying that the term rape ain't nowhere in the Bible, or ravish, that ain't it. Well, Shakab. See, a lot of you, to lie down, to lie of sexual relations, to be lain with sexually. All right. And that's ultimately, there's scriptures that tell us to be ravished with the love of the scriptures. Okay, not to be ravished with these other philosophies. Okay? Speaking of wisdom in Proverbs 5, okay, and 18, let thy fountain be blessed, the fountain of truth, all right, the living water, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth, all right? Let her be as the loving hen, as a pleasant roe, let her breast satisfy thee all the times. Now, this is symbolic of wisdom, but it's giving you the symbolism of a relationship between a man and a woman. be thou ravished always with her love. You into it. You passionate. Okay? When she pushed back, slow down. You be like, no. All right? You humbled her. Well, that's how you're supposed to be passionate about this truth, man. So, there you go. All right? There you go. So, in this chapter, all right, where we in? Let me go back. In this chapter, okay, see if it comes up. Deuteronomy 22, we always bring it out, but it gives you the 3 ways to handle if rape happens, okay? Now, basically, if a damsel that is a virgin, okay, if a man be found lying with a woman, okay, who was married, all right, see, she was married to an husband, okay, you got to look at the wording, because a lot of Israelite camps like to go to this particular one here as we're going to keep reading, and they don't like to keep reading because they're witches, right? They're playing mind games and throwing enchantments on you to play with your emotions. That's what witches do. They know how to get a rise, okay, out of provoke. To provoke means to draw emotions out of you. And it deals with spirits and demons as well. I was watching the elder brother Zahab. He brought that out. And the men of the Lord are where it's at, man. Y'all better get with the program before it's too late. Stop trying to rebel because you don't got it. Okay? So if a man lies with a woman that's married, okay, put away both the man and the woman die, right? That's the first example. The second example, if a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband and a man find her in the city, then thou shalt bring them both out to the gate of the city and stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, why? Because she cried not out, right? She's supposed to cry out because she's promised to another man already, or she already has a husband, okay? And we are promised to Yahweh through Yahweh Shai. We're his wife. We're his possession. So when another philosophy or another so-called man comes and says, I want to put this in you, we're supposed to cry out. Okay? She cried not out. She just let the man do it. She didn't say, I got a husband. So both of them, they asses die. Her because she cried not out, and the man because he humbled his neighbor's wife. Here we go. But if a man find a betrothed damsel, betrothed is engaged in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. Right? Now this is where they'll read this example and say, see? But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. He found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried. See, so because she cried out and he still forced himself upon her, she's vindicated. He's put to death. She cried out. That's why this woman was freed and the man put to death. All right, then we get to this one example, and this is where you niggas lose your mind. Deuteronomy 22 and 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, all right, because usually what would happen is this is associated with the term swept her off her feet. If someone sweeps you off your feet, you fall in love with them very quickly and strongly. All right. If something sweeps you off your feet, like a house or a car, you saw it, you fall in love with it. Okay. But I had a book that went deeper into it a while back and I can't find it. I have a bin full of books. Maybe it's in there, but I'll do that on a whole nother day and a whole nother time. It went deeper into the custom, but it goes back to like the 1700s. Okay. Okay. 1900s. All right, the mid 1800s. Okay. Now, here it goes into a little bit more off of dictionary.com. Okay, to sweep off her feet. Let me just go to the point. To sweep someone off her feet. If someone sweeps you off your feet, you fall in love with them very quickly. By the end of the date, said he was going to marry me. I was swept off my feet. Literally, they would take the woman and take her with him. Okay, and when they came back, what would he do when he got her to where he wanted her to go? He would take it. He would, put it in, my friend. He swept her off her feet. I was swept off my feet. He is a good 15 years older than Felicity. He swept her off her feet, though. All right. Then it goes to with some things sweeping you off of your feet. So ultimately, there's more websites and all of that, but this is the point. If a man, Deuteronomy 22:20, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, okay, then the man that lay with her shall give the father, all right, she's a virgin, which is not betrothed, so she doesn't belong to another man. Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, that's the dowry, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. So that teaches responsibility. That teaches that forms a family. Now you all are just worrying about the woman's emotion and all of that. But then look at what women do here in Babylon the Great. See, you all got it twisted, man. The word humbled. All right. Na. To be occupied, to humble, man. To open. You know what he did. You know how she was humbled. We just read it in other scriptures, man. So that's the law. You got a problem with the law of the Lord? Why are you so mad? Anyway, going back to this bride kidnapping, which is an ancient custom, right? As you can see, and you'll read it on your own. I'm not going to continue reading it. All right, we read some of it. All right. But look at this. What's this? The depiction of Vikings kidnapping a woman. All right. Viking men, which the original Vikings, when you go back, they were Jakes. Viking men would often kidnap foreign women for marriage or concubinage from lands they had pillaged. There you go. Right? That's the law we were reading in Deuteronomy 21. Point blank period. That happened. Okay? Look at what he's doing. He's carrying her off. Okay? In the Bible, she would have to shave her head and her nails, which that looked like a damn man. But it's just to show you, All right? Through the motivations behind bride kidnapping vary by region, though the motivations behind bride kidnapping vary by region, the cultures in our culture, it was for the purpose of, you having a concubine, which ultimately helps forward your business, and she's for your sexual pleasure. All right, now you have Israelite women saying in the kingdom of heaven, we're not going to have that privilege. All right, and we're not going to put seed in them. Now, I don't know how the new bodies are going to work as far as, because I know we're going to have children, but you all are making this argument, well, you're not going to have children with the heathen. Who are you to tell us what we're going to do and not going to do? Now, above all, the Israelite woman will be the priority. That will be the top woman on the planet Earth. Just be happy with that. We'll deal with the rest when we get there. Stop trying to go into the scriptures and challenge us on our rights in the scriptures, man. Please, just fall back or just go somewhere else. You don't supposed to usurp authority over us. Chill out. You're going to be set straight if you just learn how to fall back, which the society has given you and empowered you to the point where you can't even fall back knowing you're going to win. Even with a victory coming for you, you have to figure out a way to tell us and dictate the terms of what we're going to do in the kingdom. Stop. Goodness gracious. You Israelite women are something else, man. What they though the motivations behind bride kidnapping vary by region, the cultures with traditions of marriage by abduction are generally patriarchal with a strong social stigma. It's for the man's benefit. The patriarch. What is a patriarch? A social system in which men hold primary power, and those systems historically have lasted longer and been better. Matriarchs are always all over the place and nasty. In the scriptures talks about the patriarchs: Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Noah, Shem, Ham, Japheth, men. Okay? A system in which men hold primary power and predominant roles in political leadership, moral authority, social privilege, and control of property. You all are so, now here it is, all of these heathen men have had their patriarchy and authority, but when it comes to the Israelite man getting his, everybody gets all their panties in a bunch, including the men. That's mean. Nigga, go make some grits. Get out of here. And there's a lot of history that goes into this. All right, but whoa, Egypt? Oh, wait a minute. Africa had this practice? Africa? Do a lesson on this. Egypt, there have been cases of Coptic Christian women and schoolgirls abducted and forced to convert to Islam, then married to Muslim men. See? Now this is what probably most likely the modern Egyptians, because they are most likely those Muslims, because what do you have over there? A bunch of Edomites and Ishmaelites. The practice has increased with the rise of such and such networks and so forth. All right. Coptic Christian. All right. And that's more modern. Ethiopia. Okay. Kenya. Rwanda. This is happening. Okay. Look it up on your own. I'm not finna read all this shit. South Africa, Yemen. The practice is known in South Africa. The practice is known as ukuthwala. Is the South African term for bride kidnapping. The practice of a man abducting a young girl and forcing her into marriage. So deal with your own African bullshit before you try to go into the scriptures and make it seem like it's just full of absolute predators. Central Asia, and it goes into the different places. Okay, now, see here. They show this example here where the Benjamites seize wives from Shiloh. This is in the book of Judges, which a lot of men get their panties in a bunch all about this, where the Benjamite men took the daughters of Shiloh because the seed of Benjamin became so small that they needed to repopulate. They were almost destroyed. So just like Benjamin does in the club, because Benjamin is off the hinges when it comes to dancing in the club. So the daughters were dancing, and what do? What the same thing they do in the clubs. They come from off the top ropes, and they took the women. Okay? Judges 21 and 21, and see and behold, if the daughters of Shiloh come out to dance in the dances, Then come ye out of the vineyards and catch you every man his wife from the daughters of Shiloh. This is a story that happened. Yes. This brought up to Tazariak, priest Danyala. Well, no, it was, yeah, it did it, but it happened, man. God damn. And it shall be when their fathers or their brethren come unto us to complain, that we shall say unto them, be favorable unto them for our sakes. Now, what law justified what the sons of Benjamin did? Right here in Deuteronomy 28, 22 and 28 through 29. Though there's an emotion that came with it, what did they say? Be favorable unto them for our sakes, because we reserve not each man his wife in the war. For ye did not give them unto us at this time, that ye should be guilty. And the children of Benjamin did so, and took them wives according to their number of them that danced, whom they caught, and they went and returned into their inheritance. Because the purpose of these marriages was what? There's a landmass promised to Benjamin. So they had to have children, repopulate, so for the purpose and benefit of the nation. Yes, it was a harsh story. Oh, poor girls, right? But who allowed this overall? Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Right? Are you mad? You want to cry about it? You want to fight? You want to argue with somebody? Argue with the Lord. Because you all have a problem with the laws of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. As if your way of living here in Babylon is so much the answer to all of the earth's problems. So that's even an example, all right, of dealing with a bride kidnapping. It's an ancient custom. Get over it. It's in the Bible. All right. So, I mean, there was more I was going to bring out. And you all I know you're steaming and fuming at the mouth. But guess what? We broke it down. All right. When you go to the women in ancient Israel. Hold up. Women, ancient world. I'm going to end it off here. This is a site where scholars put together information on women in the ancient world. How did they deal with it? We're going to click on what? Bride, pride, dowry, bride. These are all things that are foreign unto us. So when we hear them, we get all bent out of shape. Women in ancient Israel. I'm going to leave this link in the description. Okay? Ruth. The variant marriage, it goes into the different types of marriages, man. Let's see here. Women in law. Women in the law in ancient Israel. Taking a wife. Here it is. These people have more stout about themselves when it comes to ancient customs. And you all here are supposed to be the children of the Lord, and you're all emotional. Okay, let's see here. See if it deals with the age. Let's see here. Yep. What does it say? Girls typically married at age 12 or 13 immediately after puberty. Okay. This says in Deuteronomy 22, 28 through 29, we learn that a man who rapes an unbetrothed virgin must pay 50 shekels to her father and marry her. A raped woman was considered unmarriageable. A forced marriage to her rapist was thought to be better than no marriage at all. So you see, the mindset was different back then. Like, see, right now, we're comfortable with seeing a woman who've had 15 partners, 20 partners, 75. That's the norm here in America. Back then, that wouldn't be so. She would be cast away from her family. Okay, she would be looked down upon. A woman who's 30 something without children, they would be looked down upon in the ancient world. So grow the hell up. Shalom.